Hi students, I am Dr. Mohan Bansal, Professor and Head ENT. Welcome to these ENT classes. Today's topic is interpretation of the pivotal audiograms. You all understand that the report of the pivotal audiogram is very important for taking decisions. So mainly we should pay attention to the type of hearing loss and the severity of hearing loss. So these two things you should be able to mention after reading the audiogram. Now before reading the audiogram, you should know about certain symbols and this color coding, because we are taking graph from the for the right ear, left ear, air conduction and bone conduction. So all these points, they are depicted separately in the form of symbols. So in the right ear, always we will take the red color. So this red color, wherever it is, means it is for the right ear. And then for the air conduction, you can see this circle O, round. So you can remember for our right color, so right ear, red color, and this rounded this sign for the air conduction for the right ear. And for the left ear, we will use the blue color. And you can see it is mentioned the air conduction without masking. So sign will be this rounded. And for the left ear, it will be cross, X shape. Then AC, air conduction with masking. For the right ear, we will use the triangle, and for the left ear is this square. And then BC without masking is lesser than sign, red color, and on the left hand side it will be greater than sign. Then BC, bone conduction with masking, you can see this square bracket. On the right side red color, on the left side blue color. And if patient is not giving any response to the highest intensity of the sound that is there in the audiometer, then we put this arrow. This arrow will show that the patient is not able to hear this sound. It can be with bone conduction as well as air conduction. So I was telling you that we should know the severity of the hearing loss. So that you should remember. This hearing loss right now we are seeing on the computer screen is American Speech and Hearing Association, is their classification. So if the loss is from 0 to 25 dB, means 25 decibel loss, that is considered normal. And if the hearing loss lies between 26 to 40, that is called mild hearing loss. And if it is between 41 to 55, then it is moderate. If it is 56 to 70, it is moderately severe. If it is 71 to 90, it is called severe hearing loss, and profound means more than 91 decibel hearing loss. That will be included in the profound hearing loss. And this is the audiogram that you can see. It is showing you the normal audiogram of the right ear. Now in this audiogram, you can see this vertical axis is showing you the hearing loss in decibel. And the unit for decibel we show is dB, that is the unit of decibel. So on the vertical axis, on the x-axis, this vertical axis, it is the hearing loss in decibel, means intensity. And on the horizontal axis, you can see that it is showing you the frequency, and the unit of frequency is hertz. We display it like Hz. And then you can see the frequency, it beginning from 125 to 5500, 1000, 2000, 4000, 8000, 6000. So usually we take graph up to 8000 frequency, but in some of the new audiometers, there is facility to go for further higher intensity. In this diagram, you can see this right is showing the right color, means it is the right side audiogram. Then this continuous line you can see. So we join this rounded symbol with continuous line in air conduction. For bone conduction, we use the interrupted line or broken line. So you can remember bone B for B, bone conduction, broken line. Air conduction, continuous, straight continuous line. And as this graph you can see, it lies above the level of 25. So this audiogram is called, will be the normal audiogram of the right ear. And usually it is not shown, but here you can see this normal, mild, moderate, and severe and profound hearing loss. So not in all the diagram or audiograms you will find these things. If they are mentioned, then it is easy to know the severity of the hearing loss. Now this audiogram is showing you the conductive hearing loss. It is left ear, mild to moderate conductive hearing loss. So when we are giving the report, then we should mention the site, then the severity of the hearing loss, and then the type of hearing loss. So these three things should be mentioned in each and every report of the audiogram. And there are some of the audiograms, they have certain characteristic features that we will see. So if the patient is having that characteristic feature, then we can mention the characteristic feature also. That I will show you as we proceed further. So this is the conductive hearing loss. Why it is conductive hearing loss? You can see this ear, it is again first the color, it means it is blue color, so it is left ear. This is the cross sign, X sign, means it is the ear conduction without masking, and it is joined with the continuous line. So there is hearing loss in the ear conduction, but the bone conduction you can see is normal, within the normal range. And for this bone conduction, this square bracket that is taken, and if without masking there is lesser than greater than sign. So this is the bone conduction. It is showing that it is normal range. So if the bone conduction is normal range and the air conduction is reduced, then it will lead to ear bone gap. So you can see this is the ear conduction, this is the bone conduction. So there is very good gap between the ear and bone conduction. That's why it is called the conductive hearing loss. So if the ear bone gap is more than 10 dB, then we consider it as conductive hearing loss. Now this is again showing you the left ear because the left color is used, and it is really showing you the left ear severe to profound sensory neural hearing loss. So if the ear conduction and the bone conduction runs very close to each other and there is no gap more than 10 dB, then we call that hearing loss as the sensory neural hearing loss. So in the sensory neural hearing loss, ear conduction and bone conduction, they run together, almost very, very close to each other. And this is, you can see, it is the left ear severe to profound sensory neural hearing loss. So both ear and bone conductions are reduced and run close to each other and no ear bone gap. This audiogram is showing you right ear moderate to severe mixed hearing loss. So if both ear conduction and the bone conduction they are reduced, and if they maintain some gap between this ear conduction and the bone conduction, then that hearing loss is called mixed hearing loss. So you can see the right color, right ear, and this continuous line, ear conduction around right ear, and this is, you can see, severe to moderate to severe hearing loss. And even bone conduction also, it is reduced. You can see it is showing the mild hearing loss. So ear bone gap is quite good, it's more than 10. So if both ear and bone thresholds reduced with ear bone gap, that is called mixed hearing loss. Now this audiogram is showing you the high frequency profound hearing loss. See, you can read ototoxicity, profound hearing loss, but in the higher frequencies. In the lower frequency, you can see it's almost normal. And there is a steep fall. And this steep fall is the peculiarity or characteristic feature of the ototoxicity. So steep fall in higher frequency is the characteristic feature of the ototoxicity. And both sides of the audiogram, they will be similar. And that is called bilateral symmetrical hearing loss. Because the drug which is giving rise to ototoxicity, that will not affect only one ear, it will affect both the ears. So patient will have bilateral symmetrical hearing loss. So right ear audiogram also will be more or less like this only. Now this is again showing you the left ear hearing loss, and again you can see these lower frequency they are normal, in the normal range, but the higher frequency it is showing you the dip. So this is showing you the 4000 dip at the 4000 Hz, and dip at the 4000 Hz, that is for bone as well as ear, and that is the characteristic feature of noise-induced hearing loss. So this audiogram left ear, high frequency sensory hearing loss, and early noise-induced sensory hearing loss. Because with the passage of time, this dip that is there at the 4000 Hz, it will spread and get widened, and then the higher frequency, then even the lower frequencies also they will be affected with the passage of time. So this is showing you the early noise-induced sensory neural hearing loss. Now this audiogram is showing you both the sides of the audiogram. It is left ear, it is right ear. You can read also, it is mentioned here very clearly. And you can, on the basis of color also, you can know that it is left, it is right. And again, this is the case of otosclerosis, and you can see bilateral predominantly low frequency hearing loss. So mainly it is a low frequency hearing loss. Here also you can see. So low frequency and conductive, because you can see the airborne gap. And left ear is mild. This is the left ear is the mild hearing loss, and right ear is mild, and left ear is mild to moderate. You can see. And in this, the characteristic feature is this dip at the 2000 Hz. So nose at the 2000 Hz, that is called Carhar's nose, and this is specific for the otosclerosis. So this is the characteristic feature of this audiogram. And this is showing you the audiogram, the Meniere's disease. The patient is having right-sided Meniere disease. Left ear audiogram, you can see it's almost normal, and it is showing you only air conduction. Only air conduction is showing, because in this audiogram we are showing simultaneously the audiogram taken at the time of symptoms and audiogram taken after 1 week. So you can see there is good improvement in the hearing loss when the patient reported in the OPD at that time. It was 11/6/2009. So hearing loss was quite severe. But after the treatment, after the passage of time, and when the other symptoms also they got relieved, you can see the improvement in the hearing. So now it is showing you the mild hearing loss. Formerly it was from moderate to severe, but after 1 week, hearing improved. Then if we were talking about the masking of the known test here is always done during the bone conduction test. Whereas in air conduction, the masking is required if the difference between the thresholds of air conduction between right and left, if it is more than 40 dB, then the masking is required for the known test ear. So masking is always presented to the known test ear, not to the test ear. Thank you very much.